Okay.
Full name is Wallace Lewis Jr.
Okay, hold on.
All right.
He's gonna
That's
start,
my father.
he's
No
gonna-
middle name.
John's gonna start and he's gonna tell the date and all that stuff and then take it from there.
I'm John Schultz. It's August 1st, 2017. We're here in Pittsfield, Illinois at Liberty Village doing an interview with Wallace Lewis Jr. for the Pike County All Wars Museum. And would you mind telling us where you were born and
Born in Pearl, Illinois. Didn't have a street address with it.
right? Right.
Remember the year, the date?
November 15th, 1925.
Go ahead, Lloyd.
Okay, why don't you tell us when you entered the service and what you did when you were entered? Were you drafted or you did enlisted?
I was drafted.
Drafted.
Well, let's see, the first place they sent me was Camp Shelby, Mississippi. And that's where I took my basic training. And from there, I didn't even want to get down to basic training till I was shipped overseas. And
Cool.
this kind of, excuse me.
What were you trained to do in basic training? What was your MOS, they call it?
I was a supply sergeant for the unit. I had to order and keep track of equipment and so forth for the unit. And that was uniforms and such that. We didn't carry guns. Now, don't get me wrong, we had guns, we didn't carry them. This was for an emergency only. If we were come under attack and we had to defend our supplies. We had all medical supplies for all the units in that particular area. So we couldn't afford to lose any of that equipment, whether it was medical or whatever. So
That was when you were overseas?
that's when I was overseas.
You
yes.
remember where you landed when you went over? And how'd you go over by ship? Big ship?
I went by a little ship called the Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa. Little one, huh?
Yeah. You ever heard of Santa Rosa?
I've heard it's in California, but I don't know about the ship. I've never heard of the ship. But we'll see if we can't find a picture of it.
That was Columbus's ship, the name of one of Columbus's ships. This is Santa Rosa, Nina, and Pinta
Yeah.
was his three ships out of Santa Rosa.
It was that small, huh?
Yeah, it was, well, it wasn't the original ship now. I mean, it just named. That we had, well, basically all of our equipment for evacuation hospital on there. Had trucks and jeeps and equipment to run the hospital.
Might have been one of those LSTs, large ship transport or something like that, maybe? I don't know.
I can't really answer that.
Okay.
I don't know.
So where did you land when you got to, when you got overseas, where did you land?
Swansea, Wales.
Wales, okay?
We were on the way over there, and somewhere about midways, they turned the sirens on for standby because they located a submarine lurking in that area, and they didn't want to get sunk, which I didn't want to either.
No.
Because first of all, they said, we've only got so many life jackets. We've got one or two life boats. none of you men, enlisted men or drafted men, are not allowed in them. You jump in the ocean and then you're on your own. That didn't sound good to me. I said, well, who's going to be in the lifeboat? No. Well, that'd be the officers. They come first.
But that made you feel good, didn't it?
It did. It made a good feeling. But anyway, that's the way it was, and we did. I mean, they stopped us about midways. Said they was inside the submarine, lurking in the water. Which I mean, they could have sunk us just as
Yeah.
easy as not. But they located it, and they dropped
Depth charge?
depth charges, yeah. And finally, they seen the oil slick come up. Said, well, no more danger there. So they started the motors up and we continued on our way. And we landed at Swansea, Wales.
And then where did you go?
From there we we crossed, well no, we went into England, but really we weren't stationed in England at all. We just passed through. And from there we went on to, well, let's see, we went through France. As I say, mostly it would just be maybe a day or so would stop, so I can't really remember the names. I wasn't familiar with them anyway. And there was one that in France that intrigued me. Now, the name, I mean, is what I'm getting at. The name of it was Pizzy-Pouville. Pizzy-Pouville.
That was a name you can remember, wasn't it?
It was so unusual. How could you forget it?
Yeah.
So,
So, where's the first time you saw some action? Where you saw the enemy lobbing mortars at you or shooting or whatever? Where was that?
well, we had guns, but we didn't carry them.
Yeah.
Being in the 115th Evac Hospital, we treated patients instead of trying
Yeah.
to create more patients.
Yeah.
But then I transferred into the 33rd Medical Depot from the 115th Evac. 33rd Medical Depot, we treated no patients. We supplied all of the medical supplies for your other hospitals, like a field hospital, up to a general hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just a medical supply unit at 33rd Medical.
And that was right around Normandy area, Omaha
Yes.
Beach.
Yeah. In that, actually, we didn't land there. I mean, we were all, we traveled on land, not on, basically. Because this has been a long time ago for me to remember exactly in detail.
Yeah. Hold on just a second.
Tell them about that cut you got
Yeah.
there from that shrapnel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them about that.
And your shrapnel from the airport or wherever it was.
Yeah, well, they lined up our planes on this airstrip, just one plane right after the other. And the Germans lobbed a shell in there and hit one of our planes. And they took out three. Took out this one here, the tail end of it, and he took out the front of the plane behind him. And well, what'd you say, the tail section of the one in front of it.
Yeah.
But ours, the one that hit me here, I got was a middle one. And it shrapnel from that plane. And it caught me on it. Can't hardly see it anymore.
Yeah. I can't really see it, but
No,
you told me you never got a Purple Heart out of that, correct?
no, he said they couldn't give me a Purple Heart because the shrapnel came from our plane. It didn't just jump off our plane. come hit me in the arm. But that was the reason they
Uh,
told me I didn't get a Purple Heart.
That's sad, you deserved it.
I thought it was, well, not completely right, I'll just put it that
No,
way. I thought it was,
I think there are ways you could probably still get that, tell you the truth.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I've tried a time or two, but they said it's too far back.
Okay. Tell us about your experience with General Patton.
With General Patton,
Is
this is,
what you were doing and how it happened and all that.
well, I was a supply sergeant, and we was going after supplies. I had my driver, Billy Reed, from Texas, and I can't tell you exactly the location. Been too far back, and my mind don't go back that far to tell you exact locations. But we're going down this Autobahn and come upon this car. I think it's a Mercedes-Benz car, and but it had American flags on the front fenders. Where they got the American flags on the front fenders of a Mercedes? That's not an American vehicle, German vehicle. And so we stopped, and General Patton, he'd laying down across in the back seat. And I went over and I got the door open. And I said, "Are you hurt, sir?" "Yes, I'm hurt. Get me a doctor." Oh, he's the roughest talking guy you ever heard. I said, "Yes, sir, one on the way."
Did you salute him?
Huh?
Did you salute him?
"Yes, sir, you better believe it."
That was the main man for that part of the country.
Yep. And that, my meeting with Patton, I mean, that was
all you
very
had.
brief, but I tell you, I'll remember the words that he spoke the day I died. He said, "Yes, I'm hurt. Get me a doctor."
Yeah. So, can you tell me how his accident? You didn't see the accident happen, right?
No, I didn't.
But how did it happen? What do you know about the accident? Somebody ran a stop sign? Or?
Yeah, well, he told the driver to ignore the stop sign going across. He crossed the Autobahn.
That's where they drive like bats, right?
That's right. Well, Patton, hey, I'm in control here. I tell other people what to do. So he told the driver to ignore that stop sign going across. GI truck smacked him.
It was a military truck.
Yeah,
Was it one of ours?
yeah,
Okay.
yep. The war was over at that time.
Yeah. See, Patton was ready to come home. He wanted to come home, I think. He wanted to get out of the service.
Yeah.
That's what I understand. And he was in the car was, who was his, they were going hunting, I think. It was the end of the war, and Patton and the other guy with him,
The driver.
the driver, he was from Michigan, I know that. Then Mr. Gay, Hobart R. Gay.
Hobart R. Gay, yeah. His grandson was in our outfit. His name was Clarence Shue, S-H-U-E,
From
New Kent.
New Canton, Illinois.
Yeah.
And he was in your outfit. Did you know him over there?
Oh yeah, I knew him really well.
He was in that medical supply group, the 33rd, or whatever it was.
115th evac.
Oh, he was in 115th evac.
Yeah.
All right.
Now my dad's sisters, I think they went to school with Clarence Shue. And of course we found that out why we were pretty good friends, being in the same outfit.
Well, this Hobart R. Gay was from New Canton area,
That's right.
and so we had Pearl, Illinois medic or medical supply man treating a guy from Rockport halfway around the world. Small world.
Yeah, I didn't do his treating.
Well, you didn't, but you were there and you helped. You were the first on the scene, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You are right.
So how did you get people to come and help him then?
Well,
Had radios?
we radioed it in,
Okay.
and ambulance came and got him, and I don't know. Probably a field hospital, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say for
I
sure.
don't,
I don't know.
I think that happened over in Luxembourg, and he's buried in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty incredible, Bud, that you were there and first one, and
I was first one on the scene.
yes, sir.
I mean, my driver, Billy Reed,
Billy Reed, yeah.
he was from Texas, I believe. But, that's all I seen of Patton was right there to,
Well, that's incredible, like I said. And then, how did you have something to do with the Nuremberg trials? How did that come about?
well, the war had ended, of course, and it's in the medical corps, and they designated this 150th evac to attend them trials. In other words, I'm not real sure as to the reason or purpose, but we had to be there to listen and, I guess, to make sure that the trial went as it should.
As fair as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear anything at the trial that you'd like to repeat, or you just, who's the main person you remember that was on trial?
Well, there were several of them on trial, of course, but about the only thing, I mean, they had to ask Hitler a question, and he'd say 999, no, 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 or they could hardly get him to answer anything. I guess he'd taken the Fifth Amendment. If you understand. You know, that's what they do here, take Fifth Amendment and
Yeah.
don't relate anything. Him and Eva Braun was his girlfriend. And I don't know, I mean, I seen that bunker that they supposedly was living in, but I thought that they were somehow or another, I mean, see, that's been years ago. Somehow or another, I was thinking that bunker was bombed out and they died there, but I guess not. I learned later that they supposed to took strychnine or something and died from that.
Strychnine, and he shot Eva first, then he shot himself.
Yeah,
That's the way I understand it.
very possible, because
Yeah.
I wasn't there at that, but
Yeah.
a lot of it was just hearsay, what we would pick up. And but we did know he was dead.
Yeah. What else in your military career can you remember that was really outstanding, or you like to pass on to the younger generation that you did, or you heard, or you witnessed while you were in World War II?
About the only thing I can recall that to me really wasn't all that outstanding, but we would have to move. We had to drive without headlights at night. All you had was those
Blackout lights.
blackout lights out, and they didn't give you much light. Couldn't see much, you could see the vehicle, but you couldn't tell what type of vehicle it was. Just a little bitty old light. And I know this one time here, me and my driver, Billy Reed, we had equipment on the back of this truck, and we got lost. Got lost down. We didn't have a map. We didn't have any maps of the area at all. But they would tell us, you know, they give you oral description of how to And we were driving down the highway there. First thing you know, the MP stopped us. And now, pardon my French, but he said, "What in the hell are you guys doing out here?" So you're in front of the front lines. Ahead of the front lines? Don't hear no shooting. He said, "But you are. Now turn around and get back out of here." So that's what we did.
That could have been bad news.
Yes, yes it was, but I mean, we didn't see any action right there, but he said we were in front of the front lines, inside of them,
With no guns.
no guns. Now the outfit had a few guns, but we did not carry them. This is just for self-protection unless we were attacked. And I did not, I carried a gun, but it wasn't an M1 rifle.
Is that what you had? The M1 was the standard issue?
Yeah, that's what they used there, but I had a .38 revolver. Did not carry it on a belt, but I had it, and or I could get my hands on it if necessary. Now, just for your own protection, this was not to harm the enemy at all. But if we were attacked, something, you get that, and just a handgun, and protect for your own protection, I guess. And
Did you bring back anything from from France that you, a souvenir or anything?
I brought back German Luger.
Luger. I know a lot of people brought Lugers back.
Yeah.
You still have that?
No, I didn't. And I'll tell you why. Right there.
Got
He
it.
comes where he
I
hid
had it
it.
at home.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dad.
I had it at home. I come home one evening and wife says, "You put that gun up where he can't get to it." Said he had it playing with it. So, okay. I didn't want any accident to happen. So I swapped it with another guy. For a big radio.
For a big radio?
Yeah.
You mean like a regular radio we set on the counter, or
Yeah.
one of these full height radios?
Yep, it was shortwave and all that, all your different bands. But I wanted to keep that a souvenir, but the wife insisted, and I think you guys know about that. When they lay the law down or set the foot down, well, if you want to stay on good side of them, you're gonna have to do as they wish.
So how many, were you in the service, 4 years? How long were you in?
You're asking me a question, it's hard for me to remember.
It's over there. That's okay, that's okay.
It's been a long time ago.
Yeah, it has. Discharge date.
19th June of '46 was discharged.
Okay, that's good. June 19th, 1946, when you were discharged.
And entry 31 March of '44.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about 2 years, I guess.
Well,
For
2
2
years.
years, Last of the war. And then some. So, and when you got out of the service, you did what for what'd you do for a living? How'd you make a living after service?
I took a course in radio and TV and opened up my own shop,
They're in, where?
Winchester.
Winchester?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I had that for several years, quite a number of years, and I enjoyed it. I took a home course through DeVry Technical Institute, and
You're still in business.
pardon?
They're still around.
Yeah,
You're probably still in Chicago.
yeah. I took a home study course. Just went sailing through that, and when I wrote on the final exam, come back fine, here's your diploma. So,
He was in Germany.
that's when I set up my shop, and
He was in Germany too.
Okay, then you went from France to Germany?
yeah.
Okay, and in Germany, what did you
No, I
do?
went from France to Belgium,
Belgium,
and
okay,
then from Belgium into Germany.
okay. That was after the war?
No,
That was in the
this is,
40, 45, 44,
That's right.
45? Okay. You did the same thing there, medical supply?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's all I was in while I was over there. 33rd Medical Depot, and well, went over to 115th Evac Hospital. That's where we did treat patients. But we evacuated them back to a field hospital or a general hospital or something like that. But then transferred out of that into 33rd Medical. We supplied all the equipment from a Band-Aid to a X-ray machine for all your hospitals in that area. So just medical supply.
That's pretty important. You gotta have bandages, don't you?
I tell you,
In
that's
medicine?
right. If a man gets wounded, they need the attention,
That's right.
and we had the equipment and stuff to take care of that. And they did requisition, I mean, anyway, from a Band-Aid to an X-ray machine. And I was in the unit supply, not medical supply. Unit supply where I had to maintain and keep clothing from a shoelace, you might say, right up to the complete outfit for all the men in our outfit.
Any questions?
And that sounded like, well, that wouldn't be too bad, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I had to have a stock of uniforms, shoes, whatever.
How about that real little tiny uniform you made for that little kid?
Oh, yeah. Well, now happened after the war ended.
Okay.
There was a little Lithuanian boy. He's always hanging around the outfit, and one of the officers came to me and he said, "You get him you couldn't run him off. He was intrigued with them American soldiers. He was a Lithuanian, he was not German, but he wanted to learn to speak English. Well, we taught him, let's put it that way. Now, some of the GIs was ruthless in their teaching of the language. I'll put it that way. I think you understand what I'm saying. But we'd correct him, and he learned to speak our language, but he just picked it up like that. Of course, just a young kid now. And they came to me and asked me, he said, "Can you order him uniform?" He was an orphan, had no place to go. I said, "Well, they don't make them small, that small uniform." But they said, "Well, order him the smallest that we can get, and we'll have a tailor to reduce him to where they fit him." So we did that, and I got him 2 uniforms. But this was by permission of the OD. And in other words, it wasn't on my own. I had the permission to do it. You had to do it the Army way, not how you'd like to. Is that right, Greg? Yep. You had to do it the way they prescribed, I'll put it that way. But no, that little boy, he'd run around, he'd do anything if you ask him. Tell him, little Ivan, we called him. "Ivan, go get the bottled water or whatever." Oh, he's right at it right now. And to start with, I mean, how this come about, I say he was an orphan, but he'd hang around our mess hall and looking for any scrap of food that we might have, any of the GIs go throw out. Can I have that? Can I have that? Finally, I got him those uniforms. Nope, you come to the table with the rest of us. I'd like to meet that little boy again today. But he was so intrigued with that U.S. Army. Now, I mean, I say he was Lithuanian, not German, but
He wouldn't be too little of a boy anymore, would he?
no, he wasn't old enough to fight in the war, no. But it's amazing, I mean, of how the attachment he took to our troops. And we just accepted him in the unit like he was one of us. It's amazing how such as that could occur. You normally say, no, that couldn't happen, because he was not sworn in as a U.S. soldier. But he wore the uniforms and everything just like the rest of us. And the whole unit accepted him as such. He was a little gopher boy. We want something, you go get this, you get that.
That's
He
a
was more
special
than
story.
anxious to do it.
That's pretty special. Is there any other old buddies that you remember, or characters that you were able to hang out with when you were working or off duty?
Well, yeah, there were several. Joe Santrock. I'm not real sure where he's from. I think it's California, but yeah, Joe Santrock, myself, and let's see, one other. Oh, second lieutenant. The three of us really jumped around together. You wouldn't think an officer would with the enlisted men, but he was just a young boy. He just got out of officer training school. We were more his age than the other older officers. And nothing was said. You could buddy or chum around with whoever you wanted, as long as you weren't on duty, you know. But I'm trying to think of his name right now. As you know, it's been many years ago since this all occurred.
It's hard to remember that stuff.
I'm not too good on names. Numbers, I'm pretty good at remembering numbers.
How
Where'd
did
Billy Diamond come in?
Billy Diamond, well, he was in the outfit, but this wasn't one I was thinking of.
Okay.
He was, well, actually, he wasn't big as I was, and I was the smallest. Billy Diamond was from Denora, Pennsylvania, and we were real good friends. But I'd like to think of this officer's name. He was younger than we were. He just got out of officer training school. They put him there. He felt more at home or at ease with me and Billy Diamond. We had no trouble getting a vehicle to, on off duty, weekends or such that, him being an officer, he'd just call in like that, on a vehicle over here. There would be.
Billy Diamond was there when he got shrapnel on it, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, they bombed one of our planes, and of course, I say, we had them planes lined up one right in a row, and Germans lobbed a shell in there and hit one of the planes. One of them plane, that aluminum from that plane come over and hit me in the arm, and cut about a 2.5, 3 inch gash in my arm. Wouldn't give me Pearl Heart though.
You remember what type of planes they were?
Fighter planes, all
How
like
many
that.
P-51s or bombers maybe, or
No, they're fighter
fighters?
planes.
She might be in a P-40 or something like that maybe?
Probably.
Either a P-51 Mustang or P-40?
That's getting too technical.
What kind of plane was it you guys pulled out of the mud? You got that plane ride that
Well, that was,
come down?
it's just a plane.
I don't know.
I didn't, I mean, I wasn't in the Air Force,
I don't
so
know.
I didn't know much about it, other than you could tell a fighter from a bomber, reconnaissance plane, but, no, this, I'm trying to think here how that occurred. We were in of course, four-wheel drive, command car, they called them. It was like a convertible, but it didn't have the metal top, which, I mean, convertible doesn't have, but this was a command car. It was bigger than Jeep. And we were riding around in it, and the plane had landed. Oh, I'll tell you, there in France, you never seen the like. In rainy weather, you couldn't even hardly walk out there. You're about sinking halfway to your knees. But this one vehicle, and I don't remember now, it was what we call brass officers. He got stuck. And in a little, like a Piper Cub. Tried to fly over it, and then they landed, and they just sunk right down. And so we were in this four-wheel drive command car, we call them. It's one the officers drive around in. And so, well, maybe we can pull you back out of that, back to get you back out on the runway here, on the concrete. And we did, but no, it was a struggle. Well, no, it wasn't no problem for the power of that command car. We threw the chain around one of the struts of that plane, and you put the boy in four-wheel drive. He did a lot of digging, but we got him out anyway. Got him back on solid ground. And
Is,
he said, you boys want to take a ride? Yeah, if you keep us on solid ground. Well, you ain't on solid ground when I'm flying. He said, no, when you're flying, you're nothing. But when you come down, well, he said, we just missed the runway. Well, I wouldn't mind taking a ride with you, but if you keep her on the runway when we land, we did. I mean, it was.
I'd ask you too, before we wrap this up, is there anything that you or your son can think of, the old story that you think you might like to add, or you'd like to add, or?
I'm good.
Of course, you've been talking, but I'm just trying to think, you know, you get it sitting here 10 minutes from now, you may think, I wish I would have said that, but nothing.
I'm not really with you here because
Yeah, I need to speak a little louder. Is there anything else that you can think of?
I should have had both of them, but it makes me lopsided. Just one. I had the other, but it.
I got a question. Did you meet your wife after the service? You meet your wife after the service?
No.
You met her before, or?
Yeah, I met her before.
Okay. Were you married before you went over service?
No. I asked her to wait for me till I got out of service. And I even gave her an engagement ring. Said, okay. But in the meantime, you want me to tell him, Greg?
I don't know, go ahead, I don't know what to say.
Well, in the meantime, my mother wrote and told me that she's dating another boy here.
Oh.
Well, I said, there ain't nothing I can do about it right now. She told me who it was. I knew him. And I wrote to her and said, but I'm not dating him. She said, watching basketball game, playing. He come up and said, "You care if I sit down here by you?" She said, "It's the whole gymnasium, you sit where you want." And so, that started, he just, well, he get his folks a car and give him a way to go, and she went with him. So I said, "Well, when I get home, I'll find out."
But she married you though, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
When I got home, Bob told me, said she's dating another boy named Stuart Thornton. I knew him well, but I said, "Okay, I'll take care of that." Well, I went down there, at a basketball game that night, and I went in the gym. There the two sat there in the bleachers. I went home, sat down on the other side of her. I said, I got a question for you. And she said, "What's that?" "You still got the engagement ring I sent you?" "Well, yes." "You ain't got it on?" "No, I haven't." I said, "Well, do you want to marry me or you want to marry him?" I'm not talking about right now, but which one you want? It's up to you. You make your decision. "Oh," she said, "give me a little time to think about it." I said, "You got from here until, you got 24 hours. 24 hours? I gotta know one way or the other." So she comes and said, "No, I told him that you'd sent me an engagement ring and I wanted to stay with you." And I said, "Tell him get lost." She said, "I can't." And I said, "Well, now, hang on a minute. I will." And I did.
That's a great story.
That's a great
Yep.
story. Good ending.
Yeah, that's a great war story, ain't it?
Well,
Yeah.
happy ending to a war story. How about that?
That's right.
Okay. Well, sure, thank you.
Thank
And,
you.
Appreciate your time.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
We're glad we came to see you.
But
Yeah.
Me too.
it's not a earth-shaking story.
I think it is. I think the world needs to know what you did. I really do.
Well,
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
you're entirely welcome.